Okay, if there are no further, the other thing that seems to have dropped out of here is the safety and security work group report. It's getting late. First thing, there are several things that came out obviously as a result of the survey we did. One of them was the trap gate, where we kind of split evenly as to whether we should retain or get rid of the trap gate. The decision, the safety and security work group believes that we should not have the trap gate at this point, for a couple of reasons. Number one, because it's a maintenance problem. Number two, because it does slow down the traffic coming into the community. So we believe that it should be retained as a backup to the other gate, to the gate you'll see, so it's there and it's raised all the time. Bob, I know you have a problem with that.
Well, first I had a problem with the language in the minutes that seemed to imply that that was accepted by us.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any recollection of that, because at no time have I ever supported removing the traffic.
Okay.
But fundamentally, the reason it was installed was as a deterrent for people just driving through. And right now, anybody can piggyback. I've piggybacked a dozen times just to do it, because we can. So, you know, with the community being split on it, I don't find that to be a compelling reason to drop it. I respect the initiative of the work group. I understand where they're coming from, but I respectfully disagree with the conclusion. Because if there's enough people supporting it, why would we take it out? I mean, we didn't want, if you recall back, the reason that went in is because a guy stole all the golf clubs at the golf course. We saw the car come through, they got a picture of it, he double, you know, whatever you call it, tailgated in, went to the golf course, stole the golf clubs and left, and we didn't have a record. And that's why we put it, you know, the cameras in, to have down cameras, and that's why we put the trap in. Nothing has changed to make me think we don't need it.
Other opinions on that?
Well, I was of the opinion that we probably, after all this time, could eliminate the trap gate, and that's the way I voted. However, after I'm on that next door thing, and after seeing some of the things that have been said in the past couple weeks about, excuse me, about security, and the lack of security and so forth, and needing to beat things up and so forth, I don't know that maybe this is the right time to do away with it.
Other opinions?
I was in favor of doing away with it. I think as the community grows, there's gonna be more and more pressure on everybody to have quicker access in. And if you get in a long line in season, and you've got guests coming in the one gate, the only way you can get in is through the residents, if you're a resident. And otherwise, you see people, I mean, it was almost kind of entertaining to watch people slow down and see which line they were going to get in, and then almost have accidents doing it. I understand people can tailgate. I think few people would try that other than somebody that's up to trouble, and perhaps.
Oh, you're wrong, Joe. You
Yeah.
sit up there anytime, it's amazing how many people tailgate.
It's faster, so they'll do it.
I actually have a resident who's the trap gate came down on top of his car the other.
He must have stalled.
No, he did not. He got
Okay.
whacked on the top, but maybe, you
I
know,
feel very
can the
strongly
gate
with-
that we have be operated quick? I tell you, I've come through tollways where that gate goes zoop, zoop, like that. Now, and I will agree, ours work very slow, and I would think you can put a higher gear on it and make it go up and down quicker.
It'll just break more often.
Ron, where do you come out?
Well, to be quite honest with you, over the last 3 or so years, my view was that we should take it out. Piggybacking what Nancy was saying, my wife's the one that keeps pointing these things out to me, because she does the website thing, next door thing all the time, she reads it. And if you look at the saga with the guys coming in and picking the berries and all that, you kind of wonder, how did they even get in here?
They
Oh,
were allowed
that's
to
a
come in.
that's a different story. They came in because one of them was an employee, and so they came through the gate, so that had nothing to do with the traffic.
But along with that goes the incident in, I forget what neighborhood where, somebody had sideswiped another car or something, and they couldn't identify who had done it.
Mhm.
So,
Seeing the lateness of the hour and the differences of opinion here, I will bring this back to the Safety and Security Work Group and make your concerns known, and we'll see whether
If it goes away, it goes away.
Yep.
And I'll tailgate, you know, I don't have a problem with that. I just sincerely believe it's the wrong decision for the community, that's all.
Okay. All right.
Well, I don't have any problem with the trap gate.
Mhm.
I mean, even if we just kept it for another year, let's see how things go.
Yeah, well, I must admit, I'm where you are, John. I have no
Yeah,
problem with it either.
quite frankly, I don't think waiting in line 45 seconds for us retired people should be a problem, quite frankly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing, Phil, that I was really bringing up for, is that I think that they took it out of service based on this, and that's why I called it. Because I didn't recall we had a discussion
Yeah.
that it should be taken out of service, because I thought when we got it fixed, it was gonna immediately go back in until we made that decision.
Mhm. Okay, I will bring this back to the Safety and Security Work Group.
Okay, as we leave here today, should we re-engage it until we get a recommendation?
Can we do that?
We can contact the vendor and have them get it back in normal service, yes.
We need to notify the residents too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we'll have well, as a courtesy, they're not used to having the trap gate
They're
there.
far more used to having it than the recent past.
Well,
ones.
except
Well-
that it has been.
It's been offline.
It's
except,
been offline.
I would just add though, now would be the time to do it if we're gonna do it with
Yeah,
everybody starting
before
to come back.
before
Right.
everybody
Okay.
starts coming back.
So-
I agree with the courtesy.
I would just say it's been fixed.
Program people.
Put a courtesy member that it's been fixed, repaired.
Well, I think, yes, we should
Put it out on your weekly,
Yeah, put it out on your
Yeah.
weekly
At
notice.
this point, I think as far as having a service call for them to come out, we can certainly attempt to have them out tomorrow and at
Yeah.
the same time include a
Okay,
communication to the community.
Let's plan to do that and put out a
Okay.
notice in your weekly letter. Okay. The exit gate, we're gonna be leaving, and this committee may wanna opine on this as well, but the decision we made was to leave the exit gate open from 7 to 5 on weekdays, and
I think it's a
when
great idea.
there's heavy traffic, but to close it at all other times.
How did you pick 5 o'clock? I'm just
Right.
curious about that.
Well, I think it was based
Want to
on
make it
time
4:30?
and dusk.
Well, I go 7 to 7 because at 5 o'clock, a lot of people are going out for dinner. and
But
stuff.
daylight savings, it starts to get dark.
Well, it does.
Maybe not 5, it's certainly
Shadows
6.
went off and then you push that in.
Let's leave it at that one as it
That's
is
fine.
now. As most of you are aware, and I think I informed you that the committee would not make a decision on the golf cart recommendation that we made. I'm not inclined to drop that at this point. I would ask the committee's indulgence. I guess this has become a little bit of a crusade on my part, but it seems to me that the district attorney who has been advising the board on this has not been an entirely neutral character in this particular situation, and so I intend to keep pushing it.
Can I offer a comment?
Yeah.
And this goes, you and I talked briefly, I think, in passing, about this, but after hearing it at the meeting this morning, I think that we ought to consider going direct, in conjunction with the Alliance, going directly to the city to get a change. Because the Alliance has gone to the city for changes in an awful lot of things that go back to the DRI. I don't know that it has to go through the CBD. If there's something out there that's impacting us,
I completely agree with you, Nancy. I think that's the right thing to do. We've been to the board twice, got shot down.
been twice.
Well, me being me, I went out with my tape measure again and started measuring, and I've determined we only have one road that has a 4-foot wide lane in it, and actually is 4 feet 2 inches. And the lane for the cars next to it is smaller than the lane on the left-hand side of that same road. So the two lanes are different widths. The golf cart lane is 4 feet 2 inches. The other road with a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, which would be Cypress Grove, has 3 feet 10-inch wide lanes. And the third road, which is 30 and will ultimately be finished, just is Prado, and that's just got a dividing strip right down the middle of the road at this point, although I suspect when they put the final coat down, they may repaint it, but.
So in summary, what do you recommend?
I sent Phil a note and said, hey, if they're complaining about a 4-foot wide lane, there's only one road to worry about.
That was pointed out in all the information that we gave,
Yeah.
that we gave
So
to
what
the
was
board.
what was the point that was raised by our illustrious attorney?
Well, he wasn't even there.
Oh.
And frankly, I was confused. I got a fast shuffle from the chairwoman about, she didn't think this was legally possible, or that's the way I understood her comments. And so this is something, and I will ask your indulgence for me to press this. I am pressing this with the district council. He himself said that the board has the authority to make this change, to go to the city and ask them to make the change, if there is even a change, which I
Required. I mean,
debate.
what change are they looking
Well,
for the city to do?
Well, what they're doing is they keep leaning back to this 17-year-old letter that says it's somebody's understanding that the golf carts, that lane should be for the use of the golf carts. It is an understanding, but Tony insists that that's a directive. But he also has said that they can change it. They can change it. They can go to the city and get it changed, and that's what I intend to press.
So you don't want to go forward to go directly?
Not at this point.
Okay.
But if the board refuses to do it again, then I would say yes.
Well, then it becomes the Alliance doing it.
Yes.
Right, would be us, it would be.
So they can do it.
Well, they could do it.
They don't have to wait for us, they can go do it.
Okay.
I don't, yeah, whatever.
In reality, whatever the language is, does it change the driving habits of anybody?
Well, it would change, one of the things we pointed out is the huge majority of people already drive where we told them to. But what we would be doing is we would be marking, it would change something, because what we have said is we want to make that lane exclusively for the use of
Put the
bicycles.
chevrons back.
And we put the chevrons back.
Forgot
The
about that.
chevrons would go
I
back.
forgot about that.
Right, the chevrons would go back, so it is definitely a change.
Okay.
Phil, if we don't get this changed and it stays as it currently is, golf carts in that 4-foot lane, and we have additional police presence coming in to enforce the street laws, will they get involved in anything with golf
I
carts?
think it's doubtful.
No.
So I was thinking it's like bicycles, they can give bicyclists a ticket.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They don't.
No, I know they don't, I mean,
The
but
reality,
practically they won't.
practical reality is they
But
don't.
golf cart, they don't stop at a stop sign, they can be given a ticket.
That's right.
They don't give
They
them
don't.
tickets.
They don't do it.
I mean, I can just do what I want.
The reality is they don't do it.
This ticket is brought to you by Joe Schofield.
The one-
I follow the law.
The one other thing from the Safety and Security Work Group is that the board approved what this committee had approved previously, and that is to bring in off-duty officers. And you'll be hearing about that. We'll be putting a notice out as soon as the arrangements are completed. We're gonna start in October. We're gonna start bringing officers in. There will be a notice to the community that it's gonna be done, but obviously we're not gonna tell the community when and where the officers will be. They will be coming in 4-hour shifts, and they will be enforcing the traffic.
So we'll be in the community for 4 hours at a time?
4 hours at a time. 4 hours at a time, which I think will
Those
be.
4 hours, people don't show
Yes,
it.
it will be.
Second, third, and fourth.
And it
First
will,
arrow.
it will be at times that have been determined or directed by the Safety and Security Work Group, and there will be times, those times.
Variation.
So are you guys gonna use the information being recorded on our speed sign to help figure out when they should be coming in?
Yes, we're looking at that.
'cause you look at
Okay,
fresh
any
ideas about
questions
what
about
really should
safety,
be here.
any other questions about safety and security work group? If not, any committee member requests or audience comments?
Well, I've been on this committee 10 years, and this is the record.
This is a record. This
It
is
wasn't
a
even a
record.
budget meeting.
Well, Nancy tied it all up and then left. Wait till I get there.
We lost our audience for the most part.
We lost our audience.
Like a CDD board
No
meeting.
wonder.
This is going on and on and on.
We tired everybody out. I'd accept the next meeting's October 11th, motion to adjourn.
Before we do that, have we got our attendees for the next couple of meetings from the?
I'm at the next CDD meeting, I believe.
The next one?
The next one, I think, is mine.
Okay. That would be the.
20th.
Yeah, the 20th. And then one after that is the 4th of October.
I'll take that.
You'll take that one?
And then the 18th.
The 18th? I'll take that one.
Okay, I think that's all I got.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else has? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Committee is adjourned.
Chris.
See you,
Hi, John.
Excuse me?
You were out when
I think you were playing solitaire.
So I don't think we'll enforce anything. But they started that construction today. Not one red flag was notified. They didn't do anything. They're shutting it down several hours. Just the fact I was getting here.
He'd be a baby. Oh.
I contacted, because I stayed at the CDD, and I was disappointed. And I was disappointed. I can't believe how many hours. I may have a copy, but I'd like to give this to you.
I got really good, pretty good shape.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop back there and see what it's explain.
Well, that's true. I'm not, he's only got.
These are people voting for it.
Oh, I know, exactly. I feel the same way.
Our other competitors,
Raise the rates.
I said, you need to say that louder.
Yeah, but he said, he does say it loud at Gateway.
I think.
But he's over here, he says it loud. He didn't waffle. See you later, guys.
See you later, thank you.
But he has a lot of enemies.
Yeah. Whoever's gonna, the post store.
Okay.
We should.
We
Is that
can
you? Is that
definitely
you?
facilitate. It's gonna be through Securitas, we can
Right.
definitely facilitate to make
Yeah,
sure
have
we
them
know
get- contact me.
communications.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you want,
Just get there. Yeah.
do we want to provide your contact information to them, or would you,
Okay.
you tell
Whatever
them?
you want us to do.
Well, give me a buzz or an email or.
Good phone number and email to do so.
239-561-7105.
Yeah.
Ron DePonte, D-A-P-O-N-T.
Thank
We'll just get together. I mean, I was involved in the last review. I was me that worked with.
Yeah, there's not a lot to change.
No, I didn't think there would be a lot. But we'll just get together, review it,
Thanks, Ron.
make a few changes, few tweaks here and there.
Few tweaks.
It'll be all right.
Not oftentimes, but sometimes to the detriment.
Oh, I know.
And he needs to